Hello and welcome to I Am Well podcast. I'm your host Gemma, a nutritionist and a hormonal fasting coach, passionate about self-development through a holistic lens. But my biggest mission is to help empower women and get them to reconnect and trust their bodies again. So if you're a woman who just wants to better herself and live her best life, you're listening to the right podcast. So let's get to it. Hello everyone and welcome back to the I Am Well podcast. I am back. I am here. I did not abandon you all, even though I'm pretty sure that's probably what it all seemed to look like. Guys, I have so much to share and I am getting straight stuck into this episode today talking about, is it hormonal or is it emotional resistance? Because this is something that I have gone through many times myself, always thinking that it has something to do with my hormones and that's why I'm up, or blaming it on I'm in my luteal phase, blaming it on I'm in my menstruation phase, and then I think that is the reason why I'm feeling this way. But sometimes that is just an easy way to cope and get out of things and not facing things head on, and that was me for a bit. And still is me to this day. I'm a cycle syncing coach. I love talking hormones. I'm a certified hormone specialist. I love talking all things hormones. It just fascinates me, women's hormones in particular. Yet still to this day, there are times where my emotions do take over and it takes me a while to pull myself up on it. And I always say this to my clients, it's not about you going back into that emotional cycle or the reaction from your emotions. It's how long you stay in it and how quickly you can pull yourself out of it. Right now I am sitting here, by the way, wearing a face mask on my face. I am like giving myself, it's like a sheet mask. I'm giving myself a full self-care experience while I'm also doing this podcast because I'm like, why not? I am actually in my ovulatory phase. So I'm in a good phase of my cycle where I'm feeling good and feeling very talkative and feeling very sociable. Yet there are still things that happen within life that of course will drag my emotions down and make me more reactive in the moment. And as I said, it's how quickly that you can then pull yourself out of. So anyway, just to recap, where the hell have I been the past couple of weeks? Well, I have been going through many different things. I'm not going to lie, guys, and I'm so glad I went through this so then I fully understand what my clients go through on a day-to-day. But when I got my full-time job, it was part-time job, the one that if you have been following me for a while, the one that I got a couple of months back now, it was amazing, perfect opportunity. And if you've listened to that episode on that, the big changes ones, everything happens for a reason. If you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend going back and listening to that one, because that one I talk about how maybe the path that you're on isn't the one that you thought you'd be on. Maybe you've been diverted to another path. Like for me, I ended up needing to get an extra job on top of it's like my side hustle to my business, because I have a family with 2 kids. Like most coaches that I see online, they don't have kids of their own. Like, yes, there are coaches out there that do, but they would have probably established their business before they've had kids. Whereas like I'm establishing a business while I'm in it with kids, and not saying that is impossible. No, I've seen many people do that, but I definitely underestimated what that would be like. Also then having a job to do as well. So working for someone else. And I loved the business, the company that I was working for. There were a few things where I was like, this is not for me. This is not, like, I was starting to get into like a nursing position, and I knew, I was like, hang on a second, this is not going to be my career. This is supposed to be my side hustle, but yet it's turning into a career. And I questioned, what the hell is going on? And I always, I'm very like, spiritual and really believe in the universe has my back and it's guiding me. So I was like kind of questioning it at the time, which I'm sure people have gone through and going, what the hell? Why am I on this path? Why is it, why have you put me here? Where am I supposed to go? And I literally had to learn everything that I have learned over the past 3 years and put it into action. I had to trust that the universe had my back and I was on this journey for a reason. And now I am happy to say I've got a new job and it's so much easier. Not a lot for me to do, which is great because, as I said, it's my side hustle. But this is not my career. And if anyone is listening to this that is trying to create their own business and can relate, just remind yourself that if you need the extra cash, don't be ashamed of that. That is fine. That is normal. Everyone does that when they first start off. And just remind yourself that's the way it's supposed to be. The universe is guiding you on this way for you to learn some things. And boy, am I learning things. Anyway, so that is where I've been for the past, I don't know how long it's been, a couple of weeks. And I'm really glad that I took that time off so that I could come back to you guys, because I have learned so much in that time, not only about myself, but also about my hormones, also about how to navigate stress and busyness in life and make sure that that's not affecting your environment and make sure that's not affecting your hormones too, because that is the thing. Like, I know what it's like, guys. Like, I'm on that end as well. It's not like I just do this business and that's it. I also run a household. I also have, another business that I'm working for. So of course that's going to bring up a lot of stress. So then how do you navigate your hormones around the stress? How do you navigate fasting around all of that too? I am so glad that I've gone through this, and I believe that I was supposed to go through it this way so that I can tell you guys how to do it, how it's working for me. I'm actually feeling the healthiest I've ever felt, even though now I'm like the busiest I've ever been, which usually is the opposite. If someone's more busy, usually they're, doing quick unhealthy things just to get by. It's easier to grab takeaway or something than it is to cook a healthy whole foods meal. So I can't wait to share with you everything that I've learned over the next few weeks. And I really feel like it's going to help so many women out there, so many mums out there. But for today's episode, we're actually talking about whether or not you can figure out if it's hormonal or if it's an emotional resistance. And I believe like this is quite common for women, especially when they're going through, say, a phase in their cycle where something like ovulation, right? Where you've been told, well, I've probably told you in one of my episodes, hey, when you're in the ovulatory phase, you're stimulating all these amazing neurotransmitters that are going to make you feel amazing. You've got the serotonin, you got dopamine, you got GABA, you got acetylcholine, you got BDNF, you got all of these neurotransmitters being stimulated that you're like, oh my God, I am feeling amazing. My hair is growing, my skin is glowing. I'm talking to all these people. I'm feeling confident. I'm an extrovert. And that is the case, right? But what if you're not feeling like that? What if in one cycle or another, you are, and in your ovulatory phase, you are feeling crap. You don't want to get out. You feel awful. You have all these negative thoughts. You're getting really down on yourself. And you're like, you're doing all the things. You're doing what I have told you to do. You are tracking your symptoms. You're tracking everything. So you're like, hang on a second. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling worried. I'm extremely bloated in my ovulatory phase. What is going on? I must be having some sort of hormonal imbalance, right? And that's what your mind will go to straight away. So what I call outsourcing your power then is what most people do, is where then they will go to their doctor to go and get a blood test to be told, give me a diagnosis so I can fix this, so I can start feeling better on my ovulatory phase. And it's called outsourcing your power because it's easier to give someone else the power over your body and let them tell you what is happening to you than to go deep and do the inner work and understand what is actually happening. Because 9 times out of 10, it is probably your environment. It is probably the stress you are under. It is probably the million things that you have to do that's on your plate. It's most likely a mindset thing, which sounds so annoying and so simple, and you just want to slap me, I'm sure. Because you're like, no, Gemma, I'm getting signs of bloating. That's a symptom. You've told me this is a symptom, so this is where I need to check my levels, right? Okay, I've talked about bloating around ovulation before, and yes, you can get bloated if, say, you're not detoxing estrogen properly out of the body. So yes, this can be a hormonal thing, but the root cause could be a stress thing. It could be a stressor thing, guys. I'm not drawing out that it couldn't be necessarily the foods that you're eating and things like that, but I've had many clients now, and every time I go through with my clients, it always comes back to the environment they're in, the thoughts that they're thinking, the situations they're in, and just having someone to talk to, and then me picking up on it and saying, hang on a second, why were you feeling like that in the moment? You know, why do you feel like you're not good enough? Because that is a stressor. That is going to make you feel like crap. And that is what is going to cause this, in quotation marks, hormonal imbalance. And nowadays, what you'll see on social media, what you'll see on TikTok, on all your reels, is everything like balance your hormones, fixing hormonal imbalances, take this and just to balance all your hormones. And I think we're overdoing it now. I think we're overusing it. Definitely, hormonal imbalance is definitely a big thing for women, but one supplement, one pill, one diet change isn't going to change it as much as it will if you change your environment, especially if you're under that emotional resistance that I'm talking about. So emotional resistance, when I talk about that, it means that there are things that are coming up for you in life that you're pushing away because you don't want to deal with right now. And I know this. I know this feeling, guys. You're not the only one. I totally understand this feeling. And right now, you could even be thinking straight away, it's not that, Gemma. No. Don't even go there. It's not that. And you could be straight away justifying all the reasons why that is not the case. Because it's easier. It's easier to blame something outside of your control. And I did it for so long. As soon as I was diagnosed with something, as soon as someone told me I had Hashimoto's and an underactive thyroid disorder and I was going to have to be on medication for the rest of my life, I was like, oh, okay, so that's why I'm tired all the time. Oh, okay, so that's why I'm hungry all the time. That's why I feel really depressed. And I got on the medication and it did 100%. It fixed a lot of things. Like I actually did lose weight. I was gaining weight, but I still felt depressed. I still felt bad. So I kept going back to the doctors and I kept getting blood test after blood test. And they kept saying, you're normal, you're normal. And I was like, I'm not normal. I don't feel normal. And I was so frustrated. And they said, okay, well, you're a little bit like lower on the normal side. Like we can try to get you up or we can try. Actually, no, that's a lie. I was actually optimal. I remember I was right in the middle. I was spot on with my hormones. That's right. And I said to my doctor, I still don't feel great. And they said, okay, well, what we can do, because you are smack bang in the middle. You are optimal. You are in this place that you're supposed to be, but there is a bit of a range there. So we could get you like on the higher end of the scale where maybe you'd feel a bit more energized and a bit better. But that didn't make sense, does it? Like, why would you not want to be in optimal? I've always talked about like, let's be optimal. I was in optimal and still wasn't feeling great. And the thing was, I kept going to the doctors to go, tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. I kept pointing at them and being like, it's your fault I'm feeling like this. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me, because I don't want to feel like this anymore. And, you know, I went on anxiety medication and I went on that for like 2 weeks and I'm like, I don't need this. And I just realized it's me. And that's the hardest thing. I had to go inwards. I had to go, I'm not happy with where I'm at. And unfortunately, I can't blame anyone for that. I'm here and who I am today because of me. It is so much easier to blame my childhood, to blame my parents, to blame, I don't know, schooling, to blame people around me. It is so much easier to do that. But what is hard to do is look inwards and understand, maybe it's me. Maybe I have the choice here. Maybe I'm the one that keeps pulling me back to feeling like this, because I've kind of felt like this for as long as I can remember. Like, you know, not like I was fully depressed as a kid or anything, but it does feel in a weird sort of way, subconsciously, like it's like my thermostat. It's like where I feel comfortable at. Which is weird. And I wouldn't have admitted that if I hadn't done all the work, you know what I mean? Because I would have just felt like I would have been in denial, saying, no, that's not the case. That's not the case. But that is the case. And it's harder to do that. It's so much harder to look at yourself and what's going on around you. And in your environment too, when I talk about environmental stress, I'm talking about like, how are you and your partner connecting? How are you at work with your colleagues? How are you with your children? Like, are you snapping all the time? You should be able to regulate your emotions, and it is hard. It's hard to regulate your emotions when you're a kid, right? And if we weren't taught as kids how to regulate our emotions, so many adults are walking around right now not understanding how to regulate theirs. And it's because of this. It's because when we were kids, no one ever taught us how to regulate our emotions. We were just told off. We were given a smack. We were sent to the naughty corner. We were given time out. Like, no one taught us that we just need to breathe. We just need to feel our bodies again. And also the word right there that I want you to remember is feel. We just need to feel. And emotional resistance, which is this whole thing that I'm talking about in this episode, right, is you avoiding feeling because it's too scary to let those feelings in. And I get it. I don't want, like, I feel like bottled up, like tears are about to come up, but I don't want to. I want to be strong. I want to be show my family that I'm brave, that I'm capable, and I don't even understand why I'm crying. You know what I mean? But sometimes that's what the body just needs. It's a release. I see these amazing breathwork practitioners, and they're now teaching emotional releases, because the thing that kids are doing right is they're actually having tantrums. And that is crazy for me to say, right? Because I'm like, oh, I can't stand when my kids have tantrums. I can't stand grabbing my, stop it, stop thrashing about, stop cracking it just because you can't get nuggets. So what do I mean by that? Well, kids throwing tantrums, that's their emotional release, and us allowing them to do that, they're getting the emotion out. Some people say you just let them have the tantrum and you just stay calm and you just stay collected and you wait till they get through it. I heard someone even say on a video that you can sometimes be waiting there for even up to 40 minutes to an hour. I am yet to do this. I'm not saying that's easy, because I have tried with my kids, and oh my God, it's just that you have that connection as a mum to your kids, and just watching them go through that is you just want to be like, it's okay, calm down. You know what I mean? But it's okay. We're not talking about that anyway today. But what I'm saying is letting your kids have tantrums is kind of a good thing, because they're getting out their emotions. But as we get older and older, we're told from a young age, don't have a tantrum. Stop doing that in public. That's not good. That's rude. So as we get older, we learn to hold our emotions in. We learn to, in order to fit in with society, we can't be too loud. We can't be too happy. We can't be too angry. We can't be too sad. We have to be the politest of amount of emotion, if that makes sense. So you know how exhausting that is over time? We're bottling it up. And then you think that you're doing the right thing by the people around you or for yourself. You think you're being brave, but when in actual fact, that bottling up is creating chemical reactions in your body, which is then where the hormonal imbalance can stem from. So here you are going, okay, I'm feeling crap in my ovulatory phase and I'm blaming it on, like, the doctor needs to do a blood test to figure out what I've got wrong. I've probably got an autoimmune disease. I've probably got this. I've probably got that. Why doesn't he just tell me? Oh, I need to go to a naturopath. I know they'll tell me that because I bet it's the sort of foods I'm eating. I bet it's the foods that are making me feel like this. But 9 times out of 10, it's because you're resisting the emotions that are coming up and you're not letting them out. You're bottling them up and it's creating all this inflammation within your body. So you don't need to fix every feeling. You need to allow the feeling, allow to feel sad, allow to be irritated. It's okay, My husband, I love him so much. And there's times, where sometimes I'll just feel crap and he just goes, I just want you to be happy. And I understand because it's uncomfortable to see someone feeling sad, to see someone feeling down. But those are the times where I say, it's okay. Nothing's wrong here. Like, I'm not angry with you. I'm okay. I'm happy with my life. But right now, what my body needs me to do is it needs me to have a cry. It needs me to feel sad. It needs that. And then once it's out, I'll feel better. Like, you see most children, once they have a tantrum, once they got it all out, they end up feeling better. It's a release from the body and we need that release. So I want you, if you take anything from this episode, if you are tracking your symptoms and you're doing all the things that I'm telling you and you're still not feeling great, I want you to allow yourself to have that emotional release. If you are craving support right now and you're struggling with this emotional release, and you just are struggling, you don't have someone by your side to talk to, I am always here. Please reach out. You can reach out to me via email. You can reach out to me in my DMs on Instagram. I will always be here for you, especially if you just need someone to be like, I related to everything that you said in the episode. I need that release. I also have my amazing one-to-one sessions and we go through a lot of this. I always say at the start of my sessions, I'm like, we're not doing anything to do with nutrition, with your fasting, with your plan, with your anything. We are going straight into mindset first. And that's what we do. We go through mindset and environment because they're the biggest things that we need to change first so that you are empowered enough to then make the changes to your lifestyle. So if this resonated with you, please let me know. Please reach out. I'm here for you guys. I'm so glad that I'm back into these episodes. I have been missing talking on here, missing sharing with you all my life and my journey as well, because I think we're all on a journey and life is insane and life has these big up and down moments, and we all need to remember that that's okay. That is actually a blessing in disguise. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go up and down on these rides because we're learning things. We're here to learn and grow and be our best selves. So I will be here. I will always be here for you all. In saying that, I do also want to share that my balance program that I turned into a self-paced program is now on offer for $99. This has 9 modules within it. It has my mindset work. It has the the balance workbook. It has everything to do with your hormones, also how to read glucose monitors, how to start fasting, and everything in between. And it is the program where I have had the most successful changes with clients. So I will leave the link in the show notes below if you are interested in this. Otherwise, please reach out. I have my VIP strategy sessions at the moment going as well. I will also leave the link for that as well. And I'm just happy to be back, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave a rating or review if you did. And I will talk to you all in the next episode, which will be back to weekly episodes. Thank you all for listening. I love you all and have a great day. Bye, guys.